it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It's a fun video for me. It's a bonus video for you. I do these several times a year. I absolutely love filming these videos. I love sharing food finds. I love sharing things that help me stay on plan. Because sometimes the food I want can be fit into my plan. Sometimes it's too hard to fit in my plan, or sometimes I could have a comparable swap that I don't suffer with flavor. Because let me first start off with when you make a swap, when you decide to have one thing in place of another, make sure that you like it. Don't swap it out because it's low in points. Like, oh, I need to save points. No. This is not about that. This is not about eating things you don't like. This is about finding an alternative that hits the note. And the note is when you're craving something and you have it, it satisfies you. Because I've had many a swap that does not satisfy me, that doesn't hit the note, that I leave there feeling unappealed. And then when I feel that way, I still want what I want, so I go and eat it anyway. So these are things, now you might disagree with some of them. That's totally fine. We're all different. It's a journey. You discover, what fits for you. Most, I would say 95% of these things are in your regular grocery store. No like having to go anywhere special to shop because your regular grocery store has a lot of these items. I would venture to bet. They do. But like I said, it has to hit the note. It has to hit that like flavor palette that you want it to hit. And, sometimes, you get something and it just doesn't, it looks good in theory, sounds good in theory, and just doesn't do it. I mean, it could look good. It is not going to taste good. And if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to go for it. So what's the point of swapping something if you're not enjoying it? Now you also could swap portion sizes. You could have had something that was a regular portion size, but you could have half that portion size and save points and calories that way. I'm going to say calories as well because a lot of people count calories here. So I'm also going to mention that because everything here is going to be lower in points and lower in calories and macros. So this way it fits everybody's budget, So like I said, you have to do what's best for you. You know what? It's a lifestyle. It's something you want to continue. And if you're doing something temporarily, you have to do it for life. You have to like it enough that you don't mind it. So, okay, I'm going to put this out we'll do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we'll do like kind of snacks. That's how I kind of wrote it out. I have notes. Now, breakfast. Everybody's breakfast is eggs. It seems that way, that everybody's gravitating towards the egg. There's nothing wrong with eggs. I mean, they are a little bit high in saturated fat. Back in the day, they were taboo if you were trying to lower your cholesterol. So apparently now they're fine again. All depends on who you ask. But eggs are a great source of protein. They're a great breakfast. You can do so many different things with them. I personally would encourage you, if you don't have a problem with eggs, then add an egg to your pancake mix if it doesn't call for it, or your waffle mix if it doesn't call for it. Bump up the protein with an extra egg. Now, I personally have been doing 1 egg and 3 tablespoons or a serving of egg white. Again, it's just a personal preference. It doesn't bother me. You might, or I've done all egg whites. This depends. I always hate when you go to a diner and you want to opt for the egg white and they upcharge you. What happened to my yolk? Do I get to take those home? You already paid for those too. All right, squirrel. But I like to do a little mixture. The protein isn't that terribly different. The saturated fat is much better. And if you opt for a serving of egg whites, you're saving 50 calories, around 50 calories. Because eggs are probably around 70-ish, 72 calories. And egg whites for 3 tablespoons is only 23 calories. So you'd be saving, and they're both 0 points. I mean, the odds are you're probably fine with 2 eggs. It's just, I'm just putting that out there that you absolutely could incorporate some egg whites into your breakfast. I can't believe it's not butter spray butter. Now, hold your horses before you yell at me about it. I like it on pancakes, waffles, and toast. Like if I want to put, I have a toast with my breakfast, I don't mind the spray butter. Now, I don't use that in my pans or anything. I just use my olive oil sprayer, which is another good tip. Invest in an olive oil sprayer. You will use less oil. Trust me on that one. But I did a video from one on Amazon. I will link that in the iCards at the end of the video. You can check it out. It's affordable. It only squirts, I forgot how many grams I said it was per spray. But I like to use spray butter on my bread. To the next swap is no sugar added jams and jellies. You can get, Paulander has them. Oh, I think every jelly brand has them. Now, some you can, if you go to an Amish store, like if you happen to have an Amish bulk store, they have it just without sugar. Remember, fruit is naturally sweet. So do you really need that added sugar in that jam and jelly? You don't. And can you make your own? You sure can. I make mine all the time. So you absolutely can make your own jams and jellies without adding sugar. You definitely save points. There's 0 points then. Of course, Weight Watchers, sometimes when you puree things, you have to count it, because if you drink it, you have to count it. But if you're chewing the jelly, it's a 0 point food. But see, that's where there's where the spray butter comes in. Spray butter, and then there's the no sugar added jam on top. It's fantastic and adds that little bit of, hint of flavor. I enjoy it. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't bother me. Like certain things, like, again, I like it. So if I like it, I'm going to do it. And that's why I try to say to you, you have to like these swap outs. Veggies. Start putting more vegetables in your breakfast. Veggies in scrambles, veggies in omelets. Oh my gosh, peppers, onions, mushrooms, spinach. Zucchini is fantastic. Find vegetables that you like and incorporate them. Now, maybe you don't like your veggies crunchy. Maybe you like them really, really sauteed and mush. Make them how you like them. I am a firm believer in eat what you like. Don't eat it. Again, if you're not liking it, don't eat it. Please don't eat it. Don't eat food that you don't like. But find things that you do like and incorporate it into a scramble. Same thing like shredded hash browns, potatoes. They're all flaked out. They go all the way through your omelet and your scramble, or put them on the side, make them crispy. You could have a nice serving for 100 grams, which back in the day was 2 points. That's a nice serving of potatoes. It's great for breakfast. It makes it filling. I often opt either for toast or potatoes. Frequently I've had both, but for the most part, I'm satisfied with either one. Now, breads are your pickle. You pick whatever bread you like. If you love light bread, eat the light bread. If you love Dave's Killer Bread, eat the Dave's Killer Bread. If you love sourdough bread, eat the sourdough bread. But I will tell you, you should weigh your bread, because you'd be surprised. You could be saving points as well, because not all sourdough and rye breads are weighing the same. So you want to go on the app, pick your bread, put it in grams, and weigh it out. It's definitely a lifesaver for me. So find your bread. If you want to have bread, have bread. If you want to have potatoes, if you want to have both, then go at it. If you have the points, a good breakfast is fantastic. Now, I am a person who loves turkey and chicken sausage. I think it's fantastic. I don't feel punished eating that. I prefer, depends on my mood. Most times I prefer turkey. I feel it's more gamey and gives it more flavor than the chicken, but a good Belinsky for 1 or 2 points. There's, the Belinskys are out there. I just hauled the ones from Good and Gather, right? Good and Gather, the ones from Target. And the Gilberts. You can get a decent sausage for 3 and 4 points, and they're fantastic. I do prefer chopping them up so they go all the way through my scramble or my omelet. But I don't feel punished. Turkey bacon, I don't mind a regular center cut bacon, but you have to understand, I wasn't a bacon eater before Weight Watchers, so it's not something, that's probably why people are like, why don't you eat bacon? I didn't eat bacon before. Never liked bacon. If I ate bacon, it would have to be chewy bacon. I don't like crispy bacon. It's a texture thing for me. But again, eat what you like. Canadian bacon, oh my gosh, you get 4, depending on the brand, sometimes 4 slices for 1 point. I wonder, is Canadian bacon 0 now? I never even checked. It's processed. So again, there's another tip. Just because something is made with a 0 point item, it's a process. So if it's processed into something else, like say a sausage, it's going to have points because it's not in its original form. It's 0 points in its original form. It's not 0 points because you make a sausage. Just says chicken and sole in there. It doesn't matter. It's a different process. Honestly, don't sweat that stuff out. We have points. Don't worry about the sausage. But I do prefer Canadian bacon or a chicken or a turkey sausage pretty much for breakfast. But load up on those vegetables. You will bulk your breakfast incredibly with a lot of vegetables. Add a little bit more fiber to your day. It's absolutely fantastic. So there's pancake mixes out there. You can make your own pancake mix. You could use protein powders and add it to the pancake to bulk up the protein. So a lot of people do that. People have smoothies for breakfast. I enjoy a good smoothie. Yes, you have to count blended fruit. Think about it though. It's still a 0 point option. Yes, you have to count it, but it's still in the back of your head as a 0 point food. So don't be like, I have to pay 6 points for this smoothie. It's still 0 point food. Yes, you have to count it, but it's not tragic. You know, I don't get quibbly over that kind of stuff because I know in the end it's a 0 point food. Yeah, I have to count it because it's processed and I'm drinking it, but it's not tragic. I love mixing like protein powder into non-fat Greek yogurt. I absolutely love non-fat Greek yogurt. I think that is such a power player in my game. I love Faye. I love Chobani. I love making my own. That's my favorite with the fat-free Fairlife. I don't mind having fat-free yogurt. Fat-free cottage cheese is not my jam. I just don't like it. And again, I'm not going to eat it because it's 0 points. I will gladly count my cottage cheese. I don't worry about that because if you look at the profile of the calories versus each one, it's pretty much like 10 calories difference. So you have to like often think ahead, like look at that and look at that and like you're like, yeah, yes, it's maybe points, but it's calorically almost the same. So don't ever quibble about that. But baking different things, making things with cottage cheese. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe the moment cottage cheese is having. And you can make my fry bread, my cottage buns are phenomenal. I don't make them ahead of time anymore. If I feel like when I make it and I eat it, because it only takes about like 5 minutes to prepare and about 20 minutes to bake. So normally I have about a half an hour. So I definitely like making that flat. Somebody sent me a video using 2-ingredient dough and making a pita like it was soft. And so we might be trying that because I don't think they've ever made it soft. Make your own bagels. And we just talked about in the group about the Grace's oat bread. That's a 0 point bread. It's just oats, yogurt, eggs, and baking soda. You could season it up if you wanted. I've made sweet, I've made savory. Used to be when we had to count it on Blue, it was 2 points a slice. I don't think that's tragic for a nice, it's not the biggest piece of bread, but it's very dense. So it's very filling. But now it's a 0 point bread. You also can make it you put it in a bagel mold. You make bagels. Same, you don't do anything different. You just put it in the bagel molds. And you have a 0 point bagel. Don't eat 2 because they're 0 points. Like don't be like, oh my gosh, Denise had a 0 point bagel. I'm going to make 5 of them. No, you have 1 bagel. You make a sandwich out of it and you enjoy it. Just because something is 0 points doesn't give us a free for all. But yes, if you go to my website, dishwithd.com, and look up Grace's oat bread, you will see the bagel. It's just putting them in the molds, baking them like 20 minutes. They're so good. The video, because somebody just mentioned it, and I found the video where I did it. I tasted them. Oh my God, I forgot how crunchy they were. I think I want to see if I can minimize how I can make a couple instead of, I don't want to make a whole recipe. I just want to make maybe a couple of them. Stay tuned. I'll work on that one. All right, we did enough for breakfast. I mean, we could always touch more on breakfast another time, but I want to go to lunch. I love a good lunch. Now, I'm not against salad. Salad's fantastic. I just get very tired of salad. You haven't seen a big ass salad on my what I ate today in quite a long time. I think I burned out a salad. I have not felt like it. So I've not had one. But I've been enjoying wraps. I've been enjoying chicken salad with a side of crackers or vegetables. There's nothing wrong with getting your chicken, boneless, skinless breast. You can use thighs. I prefer breast and chicken salad. This is a personal preference. And using a little bit of light mayo. Light mayo is your go-to, another workhorse. A tablespoon is 1 point. That's not tragic. Now, if you wanted to save it and use the yogurt, it's fine. I prefer mayonnaise. I mean, now that I don't mind spending the point because I have extra points having all these extra 0 point foods, but you could absolutely do that and season it up. Like I said, put it on cucumbers, radishes, crackers. I love the rice crackers. I think they're so crunchy and delicious. Chips. I mean, the wraps. Let's talk about the 1 point wraps. There's so many 1 point wraps out there. La Banderita. There's another one. The Mission, I think, low carb, maybe 1 point. I know La Banderita. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but y'all know what they are because everybody talks about the 1 point wraps. Even if you make 2 points for a wrap, it's not a bad option. And you could stuff it with, the chicken salad. You could stuff it with, just rotisserie chicken. You could stuff it with shrimp, make a little shrimp salad or just shrimp. And I am not against lunch meat. It's not something I eat every day, but if it's around and it's here, the boys have it, I may have a turkey sandwich. I may have a turkey roll-up. Yes, there's sodium and nitrates in it. I mean, I'm not eating it every day. So I'm not a huge person who thinks food is bad. I eat everything. I don't eat a lot of everything, but I eat everything that's on the menu. So yeah, you can make a wrap with that. Again, you know me and my bags of chips. My God, get the baked chips, poppables, popcorners. I just had, I guess it was poppables. No, I had the little poppable, I think they're poppables. That's the ones I had. But there's so many different ones, and it is a little bit more money to buy them pre-bagged. But if it saves you from deep diving into that bag, it's money well spent. And every store, Target has a big selection. If you go to the big clubs, they always have selections. I just love having pre-bagged chips. You see them a lot. Like I said, if you could handle it, and then let's fit some vegetables into our lunch. Can we? Should we? Yes, yes, yes. I say make a nice light dip. Make a dip. I have a 0-point ranch dip. You can make any dip that you like. You can buy Bolthouse Farms. There's so many good light dips out there. Make a dip. I make a spinach dip with yogurt, a little bit of mayo, and a little bit of milk just to thin out and cut that yogurt taste. Dip your veggies in it. Get your vegetables in because they are satiating, they have fiber, and they are your workhorse. I mean, you should be fitting vegetables in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is bulking. It is satiating. It will fill you. So I definitely, for lunch, I am more of sometimes leftovers from dinner is usually some of my lunches. Wraps, I just found those low carb, I don't know, they're low carb. The sweet potato wraps from, I think they're from G-Free, gluten, the gluten label. I'm trying to be like gluten. It's the whole story. But they have a sweet potato one that I get at Roastery Outlet. Oh, they're so good. They really are tasty. And I love that's been my obsession with wraps lately. But I love having picky plates, or you call girl lunches, or whatever you want to call them, charcuteries, whatever you want to call a plate of just food, you can just gravitate. It's always snacky stuff. It's always usually vegetables, dip, protein, a string cheese. And there's nothing wrong with string cheese. Don't come at me. There's nothing wrong with string cheese. I don't have one every day. Sometimes you put a hard-boiled egg, you dip it in mustard. Oh my gosh, mustard. Mustard's having a moment. I love the Dijon. I love the dill mustard. I love any ones that have like a different flavor. The German mustard, Dusseldorf mustard. I mean, you find yourself a good mustard, you'll dip everything in there. I mean, I'm also obsessing with the G. Hughes's Memphis barbecue sauce. It's made with mustard. We may have to maybe making our own barbecue sauce with mustard, because mustard's having a moment with me, as is cottage cheese. But make yourself something. What do you like? Just pick at it. Don't feel like you have to have this elaborate thing. Just have little small things. Tuna salad. My God, who doesn't love tuna salad? But like I said, most of the time my lunch is usually something's left over from dinner, and you just weigh it, measure it out, and put it on your plate and enjoy it and move on. Dinner, I like to have a starch. A lot of people I talk to will tell me they munch after dinner, and I would say to them, what do you eat for dinner? Well, I usually have like chicken or turkey and, some vegetables and a salad. Well, that's nutritious and delicious, but you need a carb in there. You don't have to have a lot, but I think a little carb helps along. It gives you a little bit of satiation, and it fuels you. Rice is great. I love brown rice. I love white rice. Pasta. You know me and my pasta. It's enough said. Potatoes. Right there, you have 3 days of 3 different starches. It's just a great way to help eat sustainably. Do you have to have the biggest potato out there? No, you don't. You go and you look at the serving of potatoes and see how many points you have left. Like, if you have a lot of points, maybe double your serving of potatoes. But I mean, I wouldn't have a whole, I like to stick with usually 2 to 3 ounces at dinner. And again, look at the meats. All your proteins are measured in 3 ounces. So definitely stick to that. Maybe go to 4 at dinner once in a while. It's not a tragedy. But you have 0-point proteins at your dinner. There's so many proteins out there. I don't know if you should be paying for a protein at dinner. I mean, the amount of 0-point proteins that is given to us, I feel like there's nothing there that you can't get. I mean, I just realized that London broil is on there. That flabbergasted me. Lamb is on there. I mean, all the fish is on there. Your lean ground beef, or it's not even, I think it's 90-10, which is a little bit more affordable than the 98. So yeah, so we should not be paying points for protein when you have all those protein options. And then vegetables. Whether it be a salad, whether it be a vegetable on the side, if you can get 2 vegetables at dinner, that would even be better. But I would settle for 1. Definitely up the veggie game if you can. All right. Staples for me in my life, yours could vary, is always going to be eggs, egg whites, non-fat Greek yogurt, chicken breast, Laughing Cow cheese, light cheese. I love the thin Sargento thin slices. I love light cheese. I am not a person that has to have full fat cheese. I do not eat fat-free. There's not only fat-free thing in my life is milk sometimes and yogurt. That's it. Other than that, I have low fat. I am trying to do low fat diet because of coronary artery disease in my family, so I will always be doing lower fat things. Invest in an olive oil sprayer. That is like key to any kind of sauteing, cooking, because I love Pam spray, don't get me wrong, I do, but it ruins pans anyway. So what's the point? But I will tell you this. Tip, this is an important one. If you're making anything in a ceramic mini loaf pan that I love, you have to use the Pam spray. I've used ghee. I've used the avocado chosen foods. Everything sticks. The only thing that doesn't stick is Pam spray. So I do keep Pam spray for my loaf pans because I absolutely am obsessed with loaf pans. So yeah, definitely cheese has definitely come more into my life since the new plan changed because I have extra points. So I am going to eat some cheese. If you remember, I don't eat that much cheese. I don't. But, I have fit more cheese into my life because of the fact that I can. So definitely up your cheese game a little bit because you have to, I don't think it's fair for me anyway to be eating only 10 to 12 points a day. Yes, I'm eating a lot of zeros, but I'm also eating my zeros in portion control. It's not like I'm eating a pound and a half of shrimp at lunch and I'm eating a whole half of chicken at dinner. I'm not doing that. So I definitely have to incorporate more of my points. Now, desserts. Yeah, desserts. You swap out any dessert for an individual dessert. Now, I have plenty here on dishwithtea.com. As you know, I have touted myself the queen of the one and done. I am Denise, and I have a problem with sweets. We've already established that. So I cannot make a big dessert, even though the portions itself are fitting into my plan. Yeah, they are. But I can't control myself with big cakes. Now, I'm better with things like cookies and, I've been good with cookies over Christmas. Nuts and things I've gotten better, but cake, because I will keep going. I'll have a little bit more, and then it doesn't ever end well for me. So for me, I make them their cake that they like, and then I make my own cake. And then in my cakes, which if you've followed me, you know that I'm putting a banana in there. Don't come at me for the banana. It's a healthy option. You're giving yourself a very delicious fruit that's adding some sweetness and giving a little bit of you don't have to add the oil. You put an egg, sometimes it's applesauce. So you definitely, many of my cakes all of my cakes, what am I saying, have been fantastic. I don't eat them and think, oh, I wish I had the other cake. That's what it leaves me with. I am so satisfied. I've made a carrot cake recently. I've made a cannoli cake. I've made a chocolate party cake. I've made a million cakes. And one is better than the next. And I've topped the chocolate with peanut butter powder. Don't come at me with that one either. I'm telling you, I absolutely love peanut butter powder. I have about 4 jars upstairs, all different flavors. Because for me, it's fantastic. I don't feel like when I'm eating that I'm suffering like, oh, I wish I had regular peanut butter. Now, you all know that I do have some indulgent peanut butters as well. They're just for snacking. But when I want to put something in a recipe, in a smoothie, or just dip my apples, I go for that powdered peanut butter. I will say you should mix it with any kind of milk would be better than water, or maybe a skinny syrup, because skinny syrups keep you on plan. They do. Now, people have even used sugar-free pancake syrup. I find it adds too much of a maple taste sometimes. It's good. It's just, I gotta want maple when I use that. But any of the skinny syrups gives it that flavor. Like I said, just a little bit of milk. And sometimes if you feel it's a little bit flat, add a dash of salt. Honestly, you get a tablespoon of peanut butter for 1 point. And they have crunchy. Oh, it's so good. Again, I'm eating that. Look how excited I get. That's what you want. You want to be like, that's what you want for your food. You want excitement. And a lot of times I use that powdered peanut butter for frosting those cakes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And sometimes I fill my cakes with cottage cheese mixed with skinny syrup, or yogurt mixed with sugar-free pudding mix, or cottage cheese mixed with sugar-free pudding mix. Shut the door. I am telling you, it's like, I eat that and never go, oh God, I hate this. Oh, I eat and go, oh my God, I want more. That's what I want. I want for you to experiment with things that you like and tweak. Like, you don't have to do the things that I do, but giving you ideas helps you experiment through. If I want a candy bar, because y'all know I love candy, I love chocolate, I gravitate towards bars, protein bars, like Bear Bells. My God, the Bear Bells taste like a stinking candy bar. I sit there and eat that and think it's the most indulgent thing I've ever had. Granted, it's 200 calories. It's not a little, it's a big player. But when you compare it to a Snicker bar, the amount of points and it's, and the sugar, it's just so much better. And you're getting 20 grams of protein with that little treat. So yeah, you can get those in the regular store. You can find Bear Bells, you can find Built Bars, you can find the Ready Clean bars are like granola bars because they have those little crispy things. For me, if I'm looking for a candy-ish bar, I tend to go to Built Bars and Bear Bells and Nick's. Oh my God, Nick's. It's got caramel, chocolate, peanuts. I think it's 6 points. The caramel choco from Bear Bells. It is. To me, it is a candy bar. I don't. That's why somebody said you should take that for breakfast. I said I don't want candy for breakfast. To me, it's candy. It's a candy bar, so I don't look at it that way. It's a great midday snack. You know what you want, but you want something sweet. I grab a bar, and it satisfies me. It is fantastic. So definitely check your store. Go to stores that sell individual bars. Most grocery stores, you can buy one bar at a time of different ones. And try them and see which one floats your boat and which one you like. Yes, they're not cheap. Any bar that has over 12 grams of protein is a little bit pricier than the other ones. And you don't want to get bars that are just glorified granola bars that are charging you an arm and a leg for them, and they're just granola bars. Like, if you want to spend money, you need to buy the good bars that have that. Robert Irvine's Fit Crunch are fantastic if you like those flavors. Like I said, you can go to any store. Like I said, all my grocery store has a whole selection of all that stuff. And I love protein drinks. I love adding that to my overnight oats. It pumps it up. It gives it a taste of, I love, it's a salted caramel popcorn. It makes my oatmeal taste like dessert. Sometimes it's just like happiness. Now, also when I want to put chocolate in something, I get to the unsweetened cocoa powder and I add it to any kind of baked good, yogurt, or anything like that. Now you have to add a little bit of sweetener to balance off because it's unsweetened, and you definitely need a little bit of a sweetener in there. I personally use monk fruit. I am not against monk fruit. I don't eat a lot of it, but when I want sugar, that's what I take. I don't take a lot of sugar, but a little bit of monk fruit is not going to hurt anybody. I also am a huge fan of Truvia. Their brown, sweet complete brown that you can get at the regular grocery store is fantastic. It is so good. It is made from stevia, so try that. And here's the one thing. In the beginning, they're going to taste different and funky because you're used to your palate is not used to that flavor. If you give it time, it will adjust. I believe that because it did for me. Now, I don't gravitate towards ice cream. It's not something that I like. But a lot of people are bonkers over making their own ice cream in the creamy machine. If you're an ice cream person, they're making such low point ice creams with the proteins. They're making like these little pints for like 3 points. I mean, I think if that's something that you like, you should maybe think of investing in one. But if I'm going to buy ice cream, which is very rare because I don't really like ice cream, it's not something I like. I'm a cake girl. But the Nick's brand of ice cream is probably, for me, I think the best tasting over-the-counter ice cream. And their bars are good. Yaso's bars are fantastic too. So it's definitely something you absolutely could have that and fit it in. But, you want to bulk up on protein. Like, definitely, like, if you have all that powder protein sitting in your pantry, start using it. It's going to expire. Don't buy it and not use it. Like, I get asked all the time, what do you do with this protein powder, Dee? And I give people ideas like, oh, I didn't think about that. I mean, adding it to yogurt is such a game changer for yogurt. It thickens it, and you can put fruit on top, nuts, berries, seeds. It's just so good. It's like a protein bowl. You ever go to those people that go to those playa bowls or something, where they're putting the pureed fruit in there? Well, you can do that at home. Just don't puree your fruit. Just kind of slice it. Bananas, apples, and caramel. Protein is like caramel apple. It's fantastic. Put it in your pancake mix. Put it in a smoothie. Don't be wasting it. If you spend all that money, I know protein powder is not cheap, so definitely use it. And like I said, and enhance things with protein powder, with eggs. Add yogurt. So I add yogurt to a lot of things. It bulks up the protein. Add a scoop of yogurt. Not a lot. Maybe a tablespoon or last two, some scrambled eggs. Protein loves protein. It's phenomenal. And like I said, I'm here. My mouth is just watering talking about these things. And everything I've mentioned is super duper light. And it's super duper in your budget to fit in, and I am excited about it. But I'm trying to look what I wrote here. Oh, snacks. I'm going to touch a little bit about snacks. I like to pre-portion snacks or get them pre-portioned. Buying nuts individually. I'm going to start buying my trail mix in individual bags because I'm having a little bit of an issue with that, eating too much. I just find for me, I need to have it pre-portioned. It just makes life easier. And eventually, like, you will get used to that portion, and then maybe you can go back to buying it in bulk and then dividing it. The same thing with chips. I would be counting chips out and eating them at the same time. It defeats the purpose, really, because I'm counting 3 points, but I probably had 5. So now just buy them individual. I don't think about it. I love the Like Air. I'm obsessed with Like Air. It is puff corn. It's kind of like, if you ever had Pirate's Booty, but it's so better. Oh my gosh, because they have sweet ones. I can't. I love having that individually bagged because I could eat a whole bag of that. Because there's one called Pancake. It's like eating pancakes. It's like crack for me. So again, know who you are, know what you can do, and don't overpressurize yourself, But think, like, I just went here and I made this list within a few minutes. You can tell it's a little bit scattered, but definitely just things but the mug cakes are huge. Now the loaf cakes you've seen, they're probably about this big. It's 3.5 by 5.5, the loaf pans. Dollar Tree sometimes has them. You can get 2 servings out of that, but when I give you the points, I give you the points for the whole cake because it's usually like 5 or 6 points, which for a dessert is a steal. And that's sometimes with filling. But you absolutely, let me tell you, half is always plenty. And I should say that. You should always try to start with half of something. And do you really want the other half? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I think that's interesting to say, because just because you can have that doesn't mean you should. It's 0 points. I can eat all I want. Yeah, but should you? Should you be eating a dozen eggs because you can? No. Always look. Whatever app you have, I am pretty gosh darn sure, even though it's not Weight Watchers, that there's a serving size when you track your food. Because that's how you learn. You have to learn what amount you can have. And that, my lovelies, is the key to weight loss. Is portions. Is sticking to a serving of anything. So that's why the 0 point foods for me are not a free-for-all. I know how much I'm eating. I don't sit there and just free eat shrimp. I could eat a whole pound of shrimp. And where does it say I can't? It doesn't. But should I eat a whole pound of shrimp? No. You have to know what you're eating. You have to, and that is just part of being accountable and part of, saying to yourself, I have to eat less. The secret to weight loss is eating less. It's a calorie deficit. But however you say it, you want to call it portions, you want to call it calorie deficit, it's less. And it's harder when you don't have the accountability of those 0 point foods. I agree. I think sometimes it's great to have them, but it's harder in a sense because I don't know what I'm eating, because I don't see it. I think we're apt to see it and know what we have left in our bank. And many people have been upset because they have all these points left over at the end of the day and they don't know, like, am I eating enough? There's also, I mentioned in my vlog from Friday that somebody posted, and I did share it in there. If I remember to share it here, I will. There is a system you can do to find out your calories. And it is like, it's like you get the carb number that you've eaten, times it by something, your protein number times it by something. I can't remember if it's fiber or fat, one of them. And so then you add those three totals up and it gets your calories for the day. So I think it might be helpful for people to do that. You know, it's better than double tracking. Because let me tell you something, who wants to double track? I know people that are tracking on 3 apps. That's hard. That's burnout coming in the future. There's no reason to track 3 times. There's no reason to track twice. If you have that algorithm, if you have that little way of seeing where you're falling generally in your calories, this way you can keep an eye on you're eating enough and not too much. So you really should be tracking your 0-point foods to know those numbers. It doesn't help you if you don't track them. If you're not tracking your protein, you're not going to know the true number. So yeah, you don't have to track zeros, but if you want to see your protein goal, you got to track your chicken and your eggs and your beef, everything that's you have to track it in order to get a correct number to find out your calories. So I think if you're tracking twice, then just track your 0-point foods and just do that little thing. You'll be absolutely golden. It'll give you a definitely better picture. So I think I went over everything I wanted to today. I hope this is basically an overview of just things that, that are swappable, but they're not tragic. Like some people would say, I'd rather have light cream cheese than Laughing Cow cheese. If you want to pay for those, go right ahead. Like I know the light cream cheese is 2 points for a tablespoon. The whipped is light whipped, I think it is or is it regular whipped? One of them is 1 point for a tablespoon, which is the same as a Laughing Cow. So yeah, if you can get that, then you know what, use it. Use what you like. Don't be swapping something because I'm telling you that I swap it. You gotta like it. It's all about what you like. And like I said, for me, the powdered peanut butter doesn't bother me. I know it bothers people. It does. It does. Doesn't bother me. I enjoy it. And that's the key. Are you enjoying what you're eating? The swap is no good if you're not liking it. Like same thing with cauliflower rice. I like it. I don't like it. So I don't care if it's 0 points. I will charge myself 5 points for 3/4 of a cup of rice rather than having a 0 point and enjoy it. First of all, I'm going to be fuller for longer and I'm just going to be satisfied. I mean, I have nothing against adding some cauliflower rice to my rice. That's not bad, but I don't feel satisfied with that. But that's me. You have to eat what makes you feel. And like I said, don't convince yourself you're satisfied. Are you really satisfied? Because I know people eating things and talking themselves into things. Yeah, you have to be honest with yourself. You do. Eat the foods you like. Like I said, find the swaps that work for you. Everybody's different. Like some people, will not swap out their coffee creamer. It's a preference. I don't drink coffee. I thank God I don't drink coffee because I can't imagine. Some people, like the protein drink in their coffee instead of creamer. I will say those new indulgent Premier proteins would be very good in a coffee. Very good. But if you enjoy that, then do it. If you're saving yourself points and calories, it's worth it as long as you like it. All right, can I hear an amen? All right, well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It went longer than I wanted to. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of things to think about. But the biggest thing is, are you satisfied? Do you like it? Does it hit the note of what you want? If it doesn't, it's a useless swap. There's no sense eating something. There really isn't, because you're never going to stick to it. I'm going to be brutal. You're not going to stick to it. You're not. And I just want you to stick to it. I want you to enjoy your food and be successful and kick your weight to the curb. I don't want us always to be paying for WW when we don't have to. We have to figure it out. So these are what's helped me lose over 100 pounds. Keep that 100 pounds off. I am, well, you'll get to the weigh-in video on Monday, but that is it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're not, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Dish with D, where we're talking realistic weight loss chit chat and sharing my experiences, sharing things that give you something to think about. That's all. Think about it. So I will dish with you another day. I will leave 2 videos at the end if you want to check out. a few older videos. Like I said, I will have that little, hopefully I remember to put that thing at the bottom. If I forget, you know. Bye-bye for now, my lovelies. Hope you enjoyed it.